Welcome to my shop. This is my 2015 Tab trailer, and with winter time coming, there are a lot of people talking about winterizing their trailers, and there are some questions about tire storage. This video is about questions that I received about actually how to jack a Tab trailer. You would think that it would be no big deal, but it turns out that there's no real good documentation on where the jacking points are on this, and we'll go through that. But so what I'm going to show you here today is how to jack up this trailer safely for storage. Then what you want to do is when you're going to leave this trailer for months and months sitting in one place, you want to get that tire up off the ground. And it does two things. One is it prevents the weight from making a flat spot on the bottom of that tire, and two, it protects the tire from losing rubber and oils and stuff out into the ground, or from something in the ground getting into the rubber and weakening it. So having this tire up off the ground through its winter is a great thing in helping these tires last a lot longer and not give any trouble in the future. So first thing we want to go over, these are the things that you need, but there's something here that you need to be absolutely sure that you have. That is a flat, level, hard surface. Don't go jacking your trailer up on mud or dirt, or especially on a sloped surface. You're going to ask for trouble. This, in an ideal world, I would be in a nice garage with a concrete floor. I don't have that at this time, but what this is 3/4 inch packed basalt with fines. Very, very hard, very stable surface. Now, these are the materials you're going to need. You're going to need a floor jack. This is a 2-ton floor jack. You don't have to have anything monster. This is just a floor jack. I don't like scissor jacks. I don't think that they're safe. A floor jack is much more stable, considering that it puts the weight down on the ground over a much wider area. It also doesn't slip off. It's just a more stable jack. 2 tons is fine. This trailer is nowhere near a 4-ton vehicle, so a 2-ton jack is just fine, considering we're going to be jacking up less than half of it at one time. Some of the weight's going to be on the first tire, some of the weight's going to be on the second tire, some of the weight's going to be on the tongue. So at any given time, we're not jacking the entire trailer up. We're only jacking up something less than that, something less than half. So 2 tons would be just fine. So you need your jack. You also know what these are. You need good tire chocks, good ones. Not just don't use rocks or that kind of stuff. Get some good chocks. You have them for camping anyway. Use them for this. Now the last thing, if I were on concrete, this is a jack stand. And if I were on concrete, I'd be wanting to use this jack stand. On concrete, it's really stable and it's really nice. However, on gravel, a jack stand, you can see that it's only going to put weight on 4 little points. That's not stable. See how that can move around? That's not good. Don't use a jack stand on gravel. What I use on gravel, this is a chunk of pressure treat 10 by 10. Really, really stable, good. rated for ground contact for 50 years. It's just a chunk of it. It's railroad tie material. Very stable. When I put weight on this, you see that that doesn't move. And the reason that it's working like that is because if you look at the surface area that this block is in contact with on the ground, it's a much higher surface area, distributes the weight better. This by itself is not quite high enough to do our job, so I take a second piece of pressure treat and I do that. I support my vehicle on the end of that. That's not going anywhere. Works great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these chocks and I'm going to put them under the far wheel. Putting the chocks under this first wheel is not going to help because as I jack up the vehicle, it loses contact with the chocks. So if I'm going to jack up the passenger side wheel, I need to chock the driver's side wheel, and vice versa. Whichever side you do, you want to put chocks on the opposite side. One last bit of warning. This is me. If you don't feel safe doing this, don't do it. Also, do not ever crawl underneath a jacked up vehicle of any kind, whether it be your car, your trailer, what. Don't go under there. I shouldn't have to say that, but just don't. Things will slip and you'll get hurt, and it's on you. So here we go. I'm not going to go through the steps of putting the chocks out. I'll show you all of that. When we get to something important, I'll bring the camera down and give you a close look. Welcome back. You can see we're now underneath the trailer. I have two chocks on the opposite side of the trailer that I'm going to jack. This is the side that we're going to jack, and we need to look under here and show you where the jack goes. A couple of things are real important. What you're looking at there, that's called a torsion tube axle. Let me stop this camera from shaking. That's called a torsion tube axle. Do not jack from that. Don't put the jack under there and lift. You'll bend or dent that tube and damage it. Don't jack from there. There's a place, let's see if I can get here, where you can see it's always hard to film underneath the trailer. Right there. You see that little angle bracket right there? There's a piece of metal that runs the whole length of that wheel. Right there. You want to jack. Holy cow, this is hard. You want to jack from underneath that. So I'm going to put the jack under there and show you how it's positioned. Back in a bit. Okay, so here we go. We now have this jack centered inside the wheel underneath the torsion tube support. I'm hoping that you can see that. See how that jack, that stand of that jack, is going to support and cradle the end of that support. Now, if you look at that support is quite long. It goes, it's about a foot long. You want to have your jack toward the back because once I get this up in the air a few inches, we need to put our wooden blocks up front and support the front of that. So here we go. I'm going to back out a little bit. Now, it is really important. I am not underneath this trailer at this point. Never jack anything up in the air while you're under it. So here we go. It doesn't take much. We're just going to go up a little bit. This is not a heavy trailer, so it's not hard. I'm doing this one hand. No big deal. And there we have it. Just that easy. This wheel is now off the ground. So we're going to go ahead and take those blocks and put under the front of that support and then lower the jack down and we're done. Okay. Back in a bit. Here we are again. I have the jacking up the tire off the ground, and you can see I have my blocks inserted under the front part of that support. So what I'm going to do, again, not crawling underneath this vehicle, I'm going to take the jack handle off and turn and lower the vehicle down very slowly onto those blocks. Be very careful. And there we go. And you can see that the jack is fully retracted and this tire is off the ground. We're now done. You should never crawl under here at any time while this is off the ground, but it's fine. It'll be here all winter, no difficulty at all. My tires will be in great shape when next winter comes. However, two important things. You should lube your bearings in your axle hubs once a year, and this is a great time to do it. Weather's still nice out here. I'm going to take this wheel off and I'm going to re-lube those bearings. This is a great time to do it. The second thing is, it's not quite so obvious, it's really nice, is that I always jack up the passenger side of the trailer first for one reason. Okay, so here we are out from behind the trailer. I'm now on the driver's side. Those of you that own this model of trailer, you recognize this area. Now, right here, see that? That's a drain line for the main water tank. There's a water tank right behind here, and the drains are on this side of it. So that the nice thing right now is that since I have one side of this trailer jacked up, if I open that drain valve, all of the water is going to come out. Any water that's been left over will come out, because this is now the very bottom of the tank, because the tank is tilted like that. It's a great time to take advantage of draining that water tank out. Now you'll get every last bit of it when it's tipped up like this. Little tip. See you later.